Welcome back, guys, to an episode of the Hoopers Lounge with myself and Alex. And today, as it is a very exciting day for sports fans, today marks the start of the 2023 NFL regular season. One of my favorite sports. I prefer it over college football personally. I love the NFL. It's very entertaining. Fantasy football is one of God's greatest creations. And we are
Factual
getting
statement.
set for what should be an amazing NFL season. There's a lot of exciting stories to follow. And with today kicking off the first week of the NFL season, we figured we'd do an NFL special episode for you guys, very similar to our college football special we did a couple weeks ago. So today we're just going to do some quick predictions, nothing special, and then we're going to do a bunch of games. So we're going to do an NFL crossover grid, blind rankings, and stuff like that. Keep it more entertaining and lighthearted today as opposed to a bunch of us talking about what we think is going to happen. So without further ado, Alex, just give me a quick prediction of what you think is going to happen this year.
Quick prediction: what's going to happen this year? Jordan Love's winning MVP. Packers are winning it all. It's what I dream about happening. I don't think it's what's going to actually happen. We're seeing a lot of the same dominant teams that we did last year. I mean, the Chiefs still have Mahomes, and they're always going to be in contention as long as Mahomes and Kelsey are healthy. Their biggest competition, the AFC, is not the Texans, unfortunately. The Bengals with Joe Burrow, the Bills with Josh Allen. Excuse me.
Excuse you.
I think the Chargers are going to have a really good year with Herbert. Lamar Jackson, the Ravens. And then in the NFC, it looks like a two-man race between the Eagles and the 49ers. Maybe the Cowboys sneak in and provide competition. Maybe the Lions are truly a dark horse team. But other than maybe those two sleepers, it really is a two-man race in the NFC.
There's one other sleeper that you didn't mention that I'm kind of high on this year, and that's the Seattle Seahawks. I think they could be good if Geno plays how he did last year. Their roster's talented enough to compete in the NFC. So that's another. I put them on the same levels like the Lions, where they could be like a dark horse that could,
I can see that.
win a playoff game or something. But there's no doubt
But the
this
AFC is
season.
the AFC is much stronger than
I
the
was just
NFC.
getting to
Much
that. There's no
more
doubt.
talented.
I mean, there are like 5 teams in the AFC that would be the best team in the NFC if you took out like the Eagles and the Niners. Like they would be better than every other team in the NFC, but they just have to play through the gauntlet that is the AFC. I think Patrick
Stat,
Mahomes.
we
Go
didn't even
ahead.
mention the Jets with Aaron Rodgers, the Dolphins with Tua. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so much young quarterback and veteran quarterback talent all scattered throughout the AFC. There's going to be one team that's very disappointed to miss the playoffs.
Yeah. And my quick prediction is whoever comes out of the AFC is going to win the Super Bowl. I just think having to go through those tough games every week in the playoffs is going to benefit them come Super Bowl Sunday. We saw it last year with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs outlasting the Eagles in what was a fantastic Super Bowl. I expect the Chiefs to be good, the Bengals, the Bills, like you said. The one team you just mentioned, the Jets, I'm actually not as high on the Jets as I think a lot of people are. I think they're going to be good, and I think they can make the playoffs. But people are calling them a Super Bowl contender. In the AFC, they're not even in the top 3, in my opinion. I don't think they're better than Buffalo,
I agree.
Cincinnati, or Kansas City. Right now, I don't think they're better than any of those teams yet. And I think the Jets might be the most overrated team right now. Not saying they can't get to what people think they will, but they're really overrated right now. I think that's just kind of a hot take, but they're not going to be bad. They're going to be
Yeah.
good. They're going to win games, but I don't know.
I agree with you in the sense they aren't Super Bowl contenders yet, but I feel like they are the second best team in their division. I'll put them above the Dolphins. I feel like Rodgers already has a great connection with Garrett Wilson. We saw a great defense last year, with their only issue really being quarterback, with Zach Wilson's atrocious play, making the Rodgers trade and feeling essential to the Jets. With that being said, let's get into some awards predictions. Let's start off with the one everyone's waiting for, MVP.
Yeah, the NFL doesn't really do back to back, similar to how I mentioned that in the NBA episode last time when we did the awards predictions. Patrick Mahomes is a spectacular player. I know Aaron Rodgers just won back to back MVP, and Jokic just won it, but I'm saying typically they
And
don't do it.
Giannis did before Jokic. He won back to backs.
Okay, okay. Steph
There's been a
also,
lot of
now that I'm
back-to-backs
thinking
in
about
recent
it, now that
history.
I'm thinking about it, Steph also won back to back. So let's just scratch that from the record and move on to the NFL. Patrick Mahomes is great, but I'm not picking him to repeat as the MVP. I think he's the best player in the league, hands down, no questions asked. My MVP pick, number 2 overall pick, C.J. Stroud. I'm just kidding. He might win Offensive Rookie of the Year, but that's even a stretch too. MVP. I haven't really even thought about that. We'll go Joe Burrow. We'll go Joe Burrow.
Burrow, wow.
Yeah,
Even with his injury in preseason, you think he's going to play enough games to
well,
be contention?
they just came out and said he's ready to go for week 1. So his injury, it might linger
All right,
throughout the year, but he's good to go now. So Joe Burrow, in my
that's good
opinion,
news for
is
Bengals fans.
the second best quarterback in the NFL behind Patrick Mahomes. He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks. He's an assassin out there. And I think if the Bengals can secure the number 1 seed in that loaded AFC that we've mentioned, I don't see how Joe Burrow wouldn't win MVP in that situation.
Yeah, that's not. I agree with you. Joe Burrow is the second best quarterback in the NFL. He really is the only player that's been able to provide playoff competition for Mahomes over the past couple of years. I think the Bengals are the only team to have beaten the Chiefs in the playoffs from the AFC within the last 5 years, something like that, which is insane.
Other than
insane
when
statistic.
I think Brady beat them one year, but that was like early Patrick.
Yeah,
Mahomes'
that was
career.
Mahomes. That was Mahomes' first year ever starting.
Yeah.
Where he threw 50 touchdowns to win MVP. Brady beat him, but now he's retired. So, only current AFC quarterback to beat Mahomes in a playoff game
Yeah.
is Joe Burrow. The only remaining quarterback left in the NFL. The only other time Mahomes lost is in the Super Bowl against
Brady.
Tampa Bay when Brady was quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only current quarterback that has beaten Mahomes in the playoffs is Joe Burrow. That's an insane stat.
Yeah.
But yeah, Burrow for MVP. If he can stay healthy and that injury doesn't linger, he has incredible weapons. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and the Bengals are once again going to be a very good team this year. So yeah, if they can win the division, I like Burrow's chances. Personally, I think it's stupid to not pick Mahomes for MVP. He is. It feels right now. It feels like Mahomes in the field. Mahomes can do whatever he wants. He could take the regular season unseriously, just coast, stay healthy, and dominate the playoffs. Or he could go out and throw 55 touchdown passes. And I wouldn't be surprised either way. He's not the greatest yet, but I think it's safe to say he's the most talented quarterback I've ever seen. And so I feel like just for this exercise, I'm going to go quarterback other than Mahomes that I think is going to win MVP. And I'm going to give it to Justin Herbert. I feel like Herbert's in for a big year with the Chargers. He just got his new contract, so he's not worried about money anymore. He's got a great receiving cast. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. They just drafted Quentin Johnson out of TCU as well. Austin Eckler is a top 5 running back in the league, and he's a great pass catcher to the backfield. Their defense is, although they struggled last year, is star-ridden. They have Khalil Mack. They have J.C. Jackson.
Joey Bosa.
They lost in the... Yeah, Bosa. I forgot about Bosa. They lost in the playoffs last year in dramatic fashion after the Jaguars miraculously came back from 27 down, which I think that's an abnormality. As long as the Chargers can avoid losses like that throughout the regular season and the playoffs, I think they're going to have a very good year.
I agree.
And I think Herbert's going to... I'm not saying Herbert's a better quarterback than Burrow, but I think Herbert can put up better numbers than Burrow with the high octane offense and the loads of passing attempts the Chargers attempt per game.
I agree with that. I think Herbert's a very good pick for MVP this year. He's going to have a great season. I think the Chargers were disappointed with how last year ended, as you already mentioned. Going back to what you said about Patrick Mahomes' playoff dominance, if he takes the regular season not so seriously, the one thing we haven't seen Patrick Mahomes do is win a playoff game on the road. Every year, the Chiefs are at home until the Super Bowl. Every year. We have not seen them play a playoff game on the road yet. I'm not saying he can't win because I think obviously he's the best player in the league. He's special. He's insanely good. But if there's one thing we haven't seen him do, it's win a playoff game on the road. And that is, I don't think he's ever been in a road playoff game.
That one game against the Patriots
Was in Kansas City.
His first year starting out. It wasn't Kansas City? Oh, I thought
Yeah, it
New England.
was. No, it was in Kansas City.
Yeah. But we haven't seen him on the road because the Chiefs have been the one seed in the AFC for the past like
That's
half
what I'm
decade.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
It's a tribute to his regular season dominance that we haven't had to see Kansas City travel for a road playoff game.
Yeah, not taking anything away from the Chiefs because obviously they earned the number one spot and stuff like that. But his playoff dominance, I'm not going to say is dependent that the Chiefs get home field advantage, but that certainly doesn't hurt them. All that does is help them. And I would love to see Patrick Mahomes go into Buffalo or go into Cincinnati and play an AFC Championship game this year. I think that would be we'd see a totally new side of Patrick Mahomes that we haven't seen yet.
I agree. That would be good to see. All right, let's move on from MVP and go on to the award that you're excited for, Rookie of the Year, with a young Texas team with a lot of star rookies. Who do you think is going to win? We're not going to go into offensive, defensive. We're just going to say, who do you think the best rookie this year is going to be?
Wow, best rookie. Okay, well, I know the NFL does do offensive and defensive, and I just want to say this is my little Texans nugget that is not biased. I will be shocked if Will Anderson Jr. does not win Defensive Rookie of the Year. He is by far the best defensive rookie in this draft, and I don't think it's close right now. He looked like a demon in preseason. He's the best player on our D-line. He's going to get a bunch of snaps. He's going to look like a monster, and I love Will Anderson, so he's my pick for Defensive Rookie of the Year. As for best overall rookie, that's so hard. I want to go with one of the receivers because the receivers this draft were nice. They looked really good.
Jordan Addison, especially on the Vikings, as a second option to Justin Jefferson.
I'm between Addison
I'm scared.
or Zay Flowers as the best
on the Ravens.
As the best rookie out of the draft, or Will Anderson. I'm between those guys. But because I picked Will Anderson for Defensive Rookie of the Year, I'll take Zay Flowers, Offensive Rookie of the Year for the Ravens. Right. I think with Addison having Justin Jefferson, there's no way he takes over the number one role this year. But Zay Flowers in Baltimore could take over the wide receiver one spot over Odell and Rashad Bateman. So I'll take Zay Flowers to be the best offensive rookie and Will Anderson to be the best defensive rookie.
All right. Yeah. I'm not sure I feel about the Zay Flowers pick since Baltimore is known to be a run-heavy offense, especially with the quarterback as mobile and athletic as Lamar Jackson. And I think he's going to want to hone in on his reliable targets that he has, such as Odell and Rashad Bateman and Mark Andrews, the targets they've been throwing to for years before Zay Flowers can really get a foot in the offense. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a great career, but I don't think he's going to have a very dynamic rookie season, if that makes any sense.
Wow, okay. All right.
I'm looking at a much higher drafted pick at a completely different position. Bijan Robinson on the Falcons is going to be a workhorse running back. They have an unproven quarterback in Desmond Ridder, no real receiving threat aside from a hypothetical Drake London and Kyle Pitts breakout. So I think Bijan is going to be a workhorse. I think the game plan, option number A is feed Bijan, option number B is feed Bijan. And he's very well worthy of that. We haven't seen a running back drafted this high since Saquon, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was
at
Saquon.
Number 2 overall. But yeah, Bijan was number 8, and he's one of the more talented running back prospects we've seen in the last decade. I think he's going to go out immediately. I think he's going to contend for the rushing title, which some people might see that as a hot take, but rookies tend to fare well in terms of overall yardage. We saw it with Zeke. We saw it with Kareem Hunt. We see rookies typically contend or are up there with among the rushing leaders in the NFL, so I think Bijan's going to contend for that. And I don't think the Falcons are going to be good, but I think Bijan is going to be very good. Now on to a rookie I think will make a difference. Here's a hot take. I think the Panthers are going to win their division and make the playoffs with Bryce Young as their quarterback.
Wow.
They have a very, very good defense. Very, very good defense. Similar to what we saw with the Jets last year, their one issue was that quarterback. They couldn't get a consistent quarterback play from Sam Darnold, P.J. Walker,
Baker,
whoever the hell else started last year. Yeah, Baker. They could not get consistent quarterback play. And Bryce Young is a question mark, but as long as he goes in there and doesn't make the game-breaking mistakes, which I don't think he will. He's a very high IQ player, very smart passer. I think the Panthers' defense will win them a lot of football games.
Wow.
And in a weak division such as the NFC South, I don't think the Falcons or Bucks are very good. Their main competition will be the Saints. I will take the Panthers' defense over the Saints' defense. I think the Panthers are going to be the best team in that division.
Wow.
Not a very good team. I think they'll go like 8-9, 9-8.
Yeah.
You know, barely make the playoffs. Easy first round fodder, but I think the Panthers are going to win that division, and because of that, Bryce Young will win Offensive Rookie of the Year
over Bijan.
It's a quarterback skewed award, and especially if the quarterback's team ends up having success, I feel like that's going to skew the awards. They're going to throw stats out the window if Bryce Young can lead the Panthers to the playoffs.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to lie. When you mentioned Bijan, I completely forgot about him. He is going to be amazing this year, and I wish I had set him for Offensive Rookie of the Year, but that's okay. I'll stick with my boy Zay Flowers.
You still got Jahmyr Gibbs if you want to switch.
I don't want Jahmyr Gibbs. God, no. As for your Bryce Young Panthers take, they might... It is hot. The Saints are better than them, first of all. And the Falcons are as good as them, in my opinion.
Really?
The Falcons had one of the best rushing offenses in the league, and they just added the best receiver or running back out of the rookie class. Their defense is okay. They just added Calais Campbell on defense. Their secondary is okay. And like you said, all the games that the Panthers get in that weak division, the Falcons also get. So I think Carolina...
I think the Panthers can capitalize more.
The one thing, though, I don't know if you follow the NFL, but my roommate is a Panthers fan. Shout out, Ethan. But we've been talking the last couple of days about Brian Burns might sit out this year because he's not being paid.
Yeah,
so that would be
an issue because Burns is their star pass rusher. That would definitely be a huge loss.
That would be a serious concern for that defense you mentioned. It's a hot take. I'm not really going to argue it because that division sucks, and I wouldn't be surprised if any one of the 4 teams won 8 or 9 games and won the division. But yeah, here we are with Alex's steaming hot take of the NFL season. Is that all right? We'll move off of rookies. And we'll just go straight into our Super Bowl predictions. So this will be our last prediction before we get into some games. I'll start. I mentioned Joe Burrow winning MVP, so I'm just going to slot the Bengals into the Super Bowl for the AFC. I have the AFC Championship once again being them and the Chiefs somewhere. Probably in Kansas City, but it could be in Cincinnati too. I have that being the AFC Championship game. They're by far the 2 best teams with the 2 best players, and come playoff time, that matters. So I'll take the Bengals to win this year, seeing as that the Chiefs won last year. And going up against them, I have the San Francisco 49ers. I seriously believe that they could have beat the Eagles last year in the playoffs if Brock Purdy did not get hurt in that game. They had a serious chance to win that game on the road. I think with Brock Purdy now healthy, they're going to have a much better regular season. The Eagles have a terribly hard schedule, which means they probably won't be the number 1 seed come playoff time. I think that'll be San Francisco, and I think that home field will catapult them to the Super Bowl, where I have the San Francisco 49ers defeating the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Niners win the Super Bowl this year. That is my prediction.
Yeah, imagine that, Mr. Irrelevant winning Super Bowl in his second year. That'd be a storyline. Like you mentioned, it's going to be 49ers and Eagles in the NFC. I agree with you on that. Like we said before, it's a 2-team race. I just think the Eagles are too loaded. Like, they didn't really lose anyone notable from their Super Bowl team last year. And you know who they added? A fucking Jalen Carter. How do we let Jalen Carter, who might have been the best prospect in that draft, he might have been, arguably, but we let him slide to number 9 so Philly could snatch him up? That is such a loaded, vaunted defensive line. It's either them or the 49ers who have the most vaunted defensive line in the league, and I think I'm going to give it to the Eagles.
Yeah,
and I think
I would too.
With that matchup being so close, I'm going to look at the quarterback. Jalen Hurts is more proven than Brock Purdy. He was an MVP runner-up last year. I think he has more receiving threats with A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert. I know the 49ers also have some weapons, but Jalen Hurts, I know for a fact, knows how to use that weapons. It's going to be a very close game, but I have the Eagles making out of the NFC. The AFC, a lot more competitive. We have a myriad of teams who could be in this spot. We could see Lamar having a bounce back with the Ravens. We could see 3 different teams from the AFC North, the Jets, Dolphins, or Bills. We could see the Chiefs or the Chargers if Herbert has as good of a season as I mentioned before. We could see the Bengals. We could even see the Jaguars if T-Law breaks out like we all think he's going to. There's so much teams to choose from. Like, that was 8 teams I listed right there. Yeah. One of those teams isn't even going to make the playoffs, which is absurd to think about. The Chiefs are going to make it. We haven't seen the Chiefs not make it since Mahomes has been quarterback. They've made it to like 6 straight AFC championships. I think they're going to go against the Bills. I think the Bills are going to beat the Bengals this year in the playoffs. They lost to the Bengals last year. I think Josh Allen's hungry. I think he has something to prove. He started to have some doubters in his NFL career, his NFL success. But yet again, I see the Chiefs still beating the Bills in the AFC Championship. Josh Allen will not be able to get over hump of Patrick Mahomes, and I see it as a complete rematch. Chiefs-Eagles. I think those are still the best 2 teams in the NFL, and I'd be stupid to not pick the Chiefs, quite frankly. I'd be stupid to pick against Mahomes and Andy Reid after what we've seen over the last half-decade. And Mahomes is going to get his 2nd ring in a row and his 3rd one overall on his way to potentially being the greatest of all time.
Wow. Okay. That's a boring pick, but a smart pick.
It is a boring pick, but I think it is the way it's going to go. I already have my hot take, so I'm just going with what I think is going to happen.
If the Eagles lose to the Chiefs again, where do you go from there? Like, what do you do if you're the Eagles?
I don't really know if there's much you can do because you have the best roster in the NFL. You mean everything about their team is great, aside from the fact that they don't have Patrick Mahomes. And that's what every team in the NFL is going to have to deal with. Because they could have the best roster in the entire world. But the fact that they don't have Mahomes is all the difference. This guy is that good. It's hard to put into words how good Mahomes has been with the Chiefs. I mean, 6 straight AFC championships. They're basically a lock to be one of the 4 best teams in the NFL. Who can say? Not even Brady with the Patriots could say that. We've seen him lose in the divisional round his fair share of times. Like, that's unheard of dominance within the last half decade. Yeah, I just think it's stupid to pick anyone except Mahomes to win MVP and anyone except the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. I think it's them in the field.
Wow. Well, the Chiefs play tonight against the Lions, and Travis Kelce, I don't even know if he's going to play because I have him on my fantasy team.
I have him in both my fantasy teams.
And I don't know if
he doesn't play, I'm over.
I don't know if he's going to play or not, so there's that. And if he doesn't play...
We don't even have a plan B.
If he doesn't play, here's my hot take. The Lions are beating the Chiefs tonight if Travis Kelce doesn't play. If Travis Kelce plays, the Chiefs are going to win. If he doesn't play, the Lions are going to win. That's my prediction.
That is a hot take.
But okay.
All right, we like it.
Yeah, off of predictions, we're going to go into some games. So we're just going to do some blind rankings and a crossover grid. Kind of keep it lighthearted for the second half of the episode here. So I guess since we have 2 blind rankings to do, we'll start with one of those. Alex, you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first. I'll set the bar. Let's do this.
All right. All 10 of these quarterbacks I got from a wheel that I spun online, and they're all current.
You did that 10 times?
Well, I did it like 25 times because it kept giving me the same quarterback over and over and over. So, here we go. Number 1, Gardner Minshew.
Gardner Minshew, backup quarterback. I believe he's on the Eagles right now, if I'm correct. He's backing up Jalen Hurts.
No, he's the backup to Anthony Richardson on the Colts.
Oh, on the Colts. You're right. He was supposed to start this year. Then Anthony Richardson won the starting job. You're right. I mean, he's a backup. I'm hoping I get starters. I'm hoping you didn't give me a list of half backups, because that would be very upsetting if I did. I'm going to put Gardner at 9 then.
Okay. Number 2, Ryan Tannehill.
Tannehill, a very mid quarterback. Gotten carried by Derrick Henry his entire career. But he's had some success with the Titans, and there's going to be some quarterbacks on this list that I don't think have tasted the playoffs. Ryan Tannehill not only has, but has led the Titans to the #1 overall seed one time. Because of that, I'm going to put him at 6.
Oh, wow. Okay. I thought you were going to put him a lot higher after that analysis, but 6 is a good spot for him. Number 3, Lamar Jackson.
Lamar is such a polarizing quarterback. He won MVP in his first full year starting with one of the more dominant offensive showings you've ever seen. And then after that, he's kind of fallen off a cliff from some accuracy issues to injuries. We haven't seen Lamar be able to replicate the success he had in his MVP year. And he's also a quarterback that hasn't had much playoff success. I think he's only won one playoff game in his career, right? I think he's only won one.
Yes. Yes, he won one game.
Yeah. I mean, he's won an MVP, and because of that, puts him over a lot of other quarterbacks. If I just feel like if we're ranking them currently, I could list 5 other quarterbacks I'd rather have other than Lamar. I'm going to put him at 2.
2. Okay, number 4, Joe Burrow.
Oh, I should have put Lamar at 3. Burrow's going at 1, but I'm going to be pissed off when someone like Patrick Mahomes comes out and I have to put him at 3.
Number 5, I was shocked this guy was on the wheel, but he still plays. Joe Flacco.
All right, I'm glad I put Minshew at 9 because Flacco going to 10.
Okay, Flacco at 10. Number 6, T-Law.
Trevor Lawrence. Definitely going to be above Ryan Tannehill. This is going to be 3 through 5. If you're a T-Law believer, you're going to put him at 3. If you're not, you're going to put him at 5. So I think a healthy medium is going to be putting him right at 4.
I like that spot. Number 7, Malik Willis.
Well, back up to Ryan Tannehill, who looked absolutely awful in his start. I honestly wish I could put Gardner Minshew over him. So I guess he's going to 8.
The terrible Texans beat Malik Willis Titans last year in Tennessee.
He just not looked like an NFL quarterback in the time we've seen it on the field.
Number 8.
I'd put Minshew over him if I could.
Yeah, I would too. Number 8, Jacoby Brissett.
So I have 3, 5, and 7 left. I don't want to put Brissett over Tannehill. I think 7's a perfect spot for him. I think 7's a good spot. Not as good as Tannehill, much better than any of the last 3.
Number 9, one of the more important players that I'm looking forward to watch this year. Deshaun Watson.
I like it. 5 is the perfect spot for Deshaun. I like that. Below T-Law, above Tannehill. Perfect. I think this has been perfect so far.
You're so right. It's almost been perfect. Because at number 10, slotting into the 3 slot, is the Houston Texans' third-string quarterback, Case Keenum. Hooray, Alex!
That ruined my entire list. It was perfect other than that. Legitimately, there was nothing wrong with that list. Before you pulled Case Keenum out of your ass. Oh my god. I'm upset. That list was so good. That list is going to be like my beauty
All right, let's go over a final recap, shall we? Number 1, Joe Burrow. Number 2, Lamar Jackson. Number 3, Case Keenum. Number 4, Trevor Lawrence. Number 5, Deshaun Watson. Number 6, Ryan Tannehill. Number 7, Jacoby Brissett. Number 8, Malik Willis. Number 9, Gardner Minshew. And number 10, Joe Flacco.
Other than Case Keenum, that list is perfect. Perfect. And then throwing it at the end. God,
hey, it's the wheel. It's not me. It's the wheel. It's the wheel, I promise.
That's unbelievable.
All right.
Unbelievable.
My turn now. All right. And to wrap up the show, I'll do a blind ranking now of quarterbacks. Hopefully I can put on display some NFL knowledge not displayed in the last 5 minutes there.
All right. We're going to your wheel. And here we go. On your first quarterback. Daniel Jones.
Oh, Danny Dimes just signed a big extension. I'm a big believer on Danny Dimes after he beat the Vikings in the playoffs last year. That was the best I've ever seen him play. Um, I'm looking at your ranking and I'm looking at the number of good quarterbacks to bad quarterbacks. I think I'm just going to slot Danny Dimes right in at 5. I think that's a good spot for him.
That isn't a bad spot at all, especially what we see from last year. He had some playoff success. All right, next up, we got Josh Allen.
Ooh, Josh Allen. One of the best quarterbacks in the league. Has not had playoff success really yet. He's on the cover of Madden, which means he's probably going to suck this year.
Facts.
But I don't know how many quarterbacks I'm going to get better than him, so we'll put him in at 2.
2. All right, all right. I don't think it's a bad place for Josh Allen. You're just gonna need to hope that you get a top 3 quarterback in the league.
Yeah. Hope.
Next up, we got my guy Jordan Love.
Oh, Jordan Love, who's the oldest rookie to ever play in the NFL. I think that's a fact.
Except for Stenson Bennett.
Yeah. Stenson Bennett is older than Jordan Love, probably. I like Jordan Love. I've liked what I've seen out of preseason, but I just don't know how good he's going to play in his first year. I'm going to put him at 7. I think
The fact that he wasn't a consensus number 1 is a huge issue, but I'll let it slide.
that's fine. After this season, maybe my ranking will change, but we'll put him in at 7.
Next up, we got Baker Mayfield.
See, Baker is much worse than Jordan Love. But is he worse than 9? I'll put Baker at 8. We'll slide him in at 8.
8. All right, I don't think it's a bad place for Baker. He still is.
No.
He's a journeyman, but he still is a fringe starting quarterback in the league.
I agree.
Unlike some other ones that are on this random wheel of quarterbacks.
Yep.
Next up, Matthew Stafford.
Oh, I like Stafford. Oh, do I put him at 4 or 6? Is he better than Daniel Jones? He just won a Super Bowl, so I'm going to say yes. I'll put him in at 4.
4? All right.
Yeah, Stafford's career speaks for itself. I'll throw him in at 4.
I can agree. He's one of the more underrated quarterbacks in history. Did you know he's only made 1 Pro Bowl his entire career?
That's insane. Well, it's because teams suck, but the Lions have sucked ever since they drafted Stafford, pretty much. But
can you think about the fact that Tyler Huntley and Matt Stafford?
Yeah.
That's wrong. That's just straight up wrong. Next
that's
up,
not right.
this just makes me sad. We got Aaron Rodgers.
One.
What? Over Josh Allen?
I can't risk.
You're gonna talk about?
I can't risk putting a bum at number 1. This is the best chance I'm gonna get to put somebody better than Josh Allen. I can argue that Aaron Rodgers is better than Josh Allen. I can argue that. I don't know if I would, but I can.
You were just talking about how the Jets were overrated.
Yeah, as a team, Aaron Rodgers is still Aaron Rodgers. He just won back-to-back
Their
MVPs.
one weakness last year was quarterback.
I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers is better than Josh Allen. I'm saying in this ranking, for the sake of it, I have to put him number 1. I have to. Because you're about to roll Case Keenum or some shit.
That was a good logic take. Yeah, I just got PJ Walker.
Yeah, 10.
That may have aged terrible. That may have aged so well. That may have been such a big brain play. We'll have to see what happens. But that could have been.
You're literally wearing his jersey. Why are you upset about that? That's not the hottest take.
Because he's not on Green Bay anymore.
Hey, how many Super Bowls does Aaron Rodgers have?
1.
How many Super Bowls does Josh Allen have?
Touche. 0. All right. Next up, got Marcus Mariota. You are cooking right now, I will say. Not considering how the quarterbacks have looked after that Rodgers pick. It may have aged pretty well.
I don't know if I can put Marcus Mariota over Jordan Love at 6. Am I going to get some bum to put at 9, though? That's the problem. I'll throw I'll throw Mariota at 6.
Mariota at 6. All right.
Yeah.
That leaves you with 2 more spots.
3 and 9. So I
3
need
more.
3 and 9.
All right. Next up, got Tua Tagovailoa.
3.
I feel like that's a very good place for him in this ranking as well.
Give me a certified bum. Come on.
No shot.
Do not tell me it's Patrick
Tom
Mahomes.
Brady.
He's not
Tom
current. He's not
Brady.
current. Re-roll. He's not current. Re-roll. Re-roll.
Why is he on the wheel? That's a very
Re-roll.
good point.
Re-roll.
Very, very good point. He is not current. He is on this wheel. All right, that is a reroll.
Yeah. Re-roll, baby. Come on.
Let's see. Lamar Jackson.
Fuck.
You pulled some big brain plays there. You know, I know you're upset. You had some big brain plays. That Rodgers play at 1 was actually 200 IQ.
That was the greatest play I've ever made.
That was so big. That was so big brain. Not just because he's 1, but because of the future players. That was so big brain. Calling out Brady this week. We should have just done random on our heads. It would have been better than this stupid wheel, bro. This wheel's ass.
I can't really live with Lamar at 9. That's so disrespectful. But I feel like your list, my list is 1 away from being really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Your one mistake was put Lamar at 9.
Yeah, which was my last pick. And your one mistake was Keenum.
You know what I do like?
Was your last pick.
I love that Jordan Love is ranked higher than Lamar. I like that. Jordan Love for MVP.
Yeah.
Jordan Love for president.
Jordan Love.
Let's recap your list real quick before we sign off.
Yeah, okay. Number 1, Aaron Rodgers. Number 2, Josh Allen. Number 3, Tua. Number 4, Matt Stafford. Number 5, Daniel Jones. Number 6, Marcus Mariota. Number 7, Jordan Love. Number 8, Baker Mayfield. Number 9, Lamar Jackson. And number 10, PJ Walker.
Yeah, your one mistake was Lamar at 9. Other than that, you can maybe make an argument for Lamar over A-Rod. Or just little things like that. But other than that list is pretty good.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
Both of us redeemed ourselves on the crossover grid with our blind rankings. I'll say that.
And for NBAers, I'm pretty proud of our quarterback blind rankings. I think we both did very
basketball more than we follow football. I think we did pretty good. And that will finish it off for the NFL special. I'm, like I said, so excited for the season. Can't wait to watch the game tonight. Hoping the Lions pull off an upset because I think the Chiefs are going to win. But again, hopefully Travis Kelce plays, though, for the sake of my fantasy team.
Oh, I need Kelce. Please, Travis Kelce. I have you in 2 leagues. I need you.
And if you don't have anything else to add, we'll sign it off.
Say a quick prayer to Travis Kelce. That's all.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys. Thanks for watching.
Yep, thanks for watching.
See y'all on Sunday.
See y'all Sunday. Peace.